Have you ever wanted to make a simple video of 3D objects that are panned around with the camera just like this here? This is a trailer for a game I made, and maybe you want to make a trailer for your game, but this tutorial is going to be simple and step by step, and it's not going to require you to know any code whatsoever. It's going to explain how to assemble 3D assets into Unity and how to pan the camera around them in such a way that you could create a cool trailer like this one here. So if something like that would interest you, stay tuned to the whole thing. Okay, to get started, the first thing we need to do is make sure we have a relevant version of Unity installed. We're going to have you go to the Unity 3D website under unity3d.com/unity/qa/lts-releases. These are lifetime support releases. That means these are builds that they're committing to. You're not testing at this point. These are committed builds. The oldest build you can afford to have here is 2019.4, but it should work for everything up above that. I'm going to be using 2023.37F1. That's my particular version. It's not going to matter for what you use. So once you've clicked the download button, it'll install two programs, Unity Hub and Unity itself. Once you have Unity Hub available, go ahead and open Unity Hub and click on New Project on the right side, and you'll be able to start a brand new project. It doesn't matter where you save this project. All we're doing is learning right now. But what you do need to know is we're going to choose under Templates, 3D Core, and we're going to name the project whatever we want to name it right here. Does not matter. You know, learning camera movement. We could do that. And the editor version, you want to make sure, again, you're above that 2019.3 and up is all that's relevant to this. Anyway, there's going to be some changes. I'm going to be using, for this tutorial again, this version. If you want the exact same results, you can use it. But honestly, they're so minor, you'll figure it out. Promise you. Okay, create project is what we're going to do. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it a moment. Now that we have Cinemachine installed, the first step is to go to your main camera. You'll see this in the hierarchy. And if you don't see the hierarchy at all, what you want to do is click on Window, Layouts, and Reset All Layouts. That will enable you to see the layout in such a way that you'll see the hierarchy. Anyway, let's click on Main Camera. And what you want to do is you want to add a component. You'll see this menu down here, Add Component. And what you're trying to do is add Cinemachine Brain just as I have here. Go ahead and click on Add Component, and make sure to type in Brain and choose the first option that should come up for you, Cinemachine Brain. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a virtual camera. Head over to Cinemachine and click on Create Virtual Camera. Next up, we're going to go here and we're going to go ahead and click on Create Dolly with Cart. That's the one. Create Dolly with Cart. Now, on some versions it says Create Dolly Track and Cart. With cart and cart, it works for us. The next thing you want to do is go back to the virtual camera here and click on Follow right here. It'll pop up this menu right here. What we're doing is we're having the virtual camera follow the cart, and not the track, of course, the cart. So why are we doing this? So we have a main camera in the scene and we have a virtual camera. Think of the virtual camera as the new main camera. We're just going to avoid everything to do with the main camera from this point forward. All the controls we work with are going to be in the virtual camera. Now what we're doing is we are causing this virtual camera to follow a cart. So let's just imagine that you're on a road and that you were to put a camera on a skateboard. That's kind of what we're doing here, right? When we're rolling that camera down the scene, essentially. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to say, okay, we have the cart that's on the track. Think of it like a minecart in Minecraft. You know, it's rolling down there, and we're going to face it a direction, and you know, you'll be able to see what's going by. So that's what we're doing to get started. Now, I didn't need to do this, but a lot of the tutorials that I follow say that you have to go here to Dolly Cart and go ahead and click on Path and make sure that Dolly Track is in the path. I didn't need to do this in my version. You may not need to do it in yours, but check if that's done. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go ahead and make sure the scene view is down here and the game view is up here. This is just going to help us with a few things. The next thing, I need you to make sure that gizmos is turned on and not off. Finally, we're going to be choosing how fast the dolly moves down the cart. In my case, or in our case, we're going to use the speed of -1. That's just what we need to do here to go across backwards. And now, if we push play here, there's going to be one profound problem. This world is completely looking the exact same, so you won't be able to tell which way you're going or what's going on. Let's go ahead and add some game objects, and you can do this any way you want to. I'm going to go ahead and add some cubes to the hierarchy. So I'm clicking on hierarchy, clicking on this plus sign there, and then clicking on cube. So now we have ourselves a little cube. And the idea here is we want them near the track. So I'm in the scene view and I'm using the mouse to look around. I'm right clicking the mouse. But what I want to do is I want to find out where the track is and where the cube is. And I want to get them closer together. Now we can go ahead and click on dolly track, and we can click on copy. We should be able to copy the values. Oh, hold on. Here are the transform values. We can copy them there. Now this is off screen, but it should say copy world placement. Copy world placement. Now click on the cube, and then we're going to click on paste world placement. It's going to move the cube to the track, right? So, okay. So now we should move right through the middle of a cube on this scene. So let's go ahead and push play and take a look at what this actually looks like. I'm going to maximize on play. Now you'll see a couple of problems here. I'm not seeing anything at all. So let's see what we've done wrong. Okay, so I've done this recording a few times, but I never figured it out the first time. But here we go. Looped seems to be the answer. When I click on looped, it allows me to see the cube, and I also changed the speed of the cart itself to 10, which didn't seem to be necessary. But let's just go ahead and put it on +1-ish. 2 is fine too. And let's see what we see. We see what we should be seeing is the camera going backwards in the scene, which is good. And we're going through the cube, and we're keep going backwards. Now you'll see the camera is turned a particular direction, and that seems to impact things. So let's see if we can turn it actually. Now let's talk about manipulating the track and how to do that, because we want a fancy scene, not just something going backwards from a cube, right? So what we want to do is we want to click on dolly track right there. Let's zoom in just to bring you in a little close to the action here. So dolly track, go ahead and click on that. And if you have it selected, you'll see in the scene view that you see this 1 and this 0 right there. That represents the waypoints we have in the inspector. So let's zoom out for you really quick and show you guys. We have the inspector and we have these waypoints. Now those are represented here, 1, 2, and 0, 1, 2. That's our system as it's set up today. So let's go ahead and click on these, and we can click plus a few times, and now we have a bunch of different things going on, and we can manipulate them. So let's go ahead and start at, I'd like to start at 1. To be honest, I'm not quite sure why it spawned them all over the place. We'll start at 0. Darn programmers always starting at 0 here. Now we have it on looped, right? So 0 is also the beginning. It's the beginning and the end. But I'm going to pull 0 this way. And now I'm actually manipulating how far things are going to go just by moving the 0 here. Moving that waypoint, it's just moving it along. Now there's a couple of different options we have here. And let's get in close so that we can see them. One of them is that, yeah, I'll show you guys up close like this too. So one of them is that we're going to roll, and you can see what's happening to the track there. And I'm going to unloop it just so you can see what's happening to the track. But you can see it's moving sideways. Do you see that? Let's try it. Let's try it a little more. I'll try it zoomed out. Roll. You see how that's moving right there? We're basically changing the angle of things. So now, when we push play, and in fact we should speed things up a little first. Let's go ahead and let's give it a plus value. Just want to see if, there we go. You can see how quickly that goes about here. So basically what it's done is the points that it's put down seem to loop a little on themselves, even by the fact that we haven't set it up to loop. The points are overlapping each other. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So we go from 0. Oh, let's go up here. 0, 3, 2. Yeah, it's a real mess. Let's move these like this, you know? Get something interesting in the motion here. There we are. See, now we have some interesting points to visit. So let's play this and see what happens. Now, that's very interesting, isn't it? Okay, we can see what's going on because we have the scene view in here, but we need to put a little bit more in the scene to spice things up. In order to get a better sense of where we're moving our camera, I'm going to create a few objects, and you don't have to follow me exactly on this point, but I'm going to click on the plus, and then I'm going to click on 3D object and terrain. Terrain is going to show up here. Now it doesn't show up in the camera because the camera's looking this way, right? So you can't see it. So let's go ahead and take a look down here at the terrain and move it into position. So you could move it manually like this, just grab the handles. Make sure you have the handle tool selected right here to be able to do that. This is in the top left. Let's go back down here, move it like so, move it like so, and move it down a little. There we go, now I can see it. And this will just give us a sense of where we're going with this camera. All right. So we can see here our camera's path in 3D space, and we kind of see the terrain it's hovering over. Really cool. So let's start thinking about this as if we were, making a film or something like that. We have our track. It's a bit of a mess. That doesn't matter. You can add or remove points as you wish. You just click on them, and you can remove and you can add points by clicking here, and you can move those points around. And even if you go up over here, I'll just show you. You can click the rotation tool and you can rotate the different points. So make sure you have a point selected. See here, click on 4, and now we can click on rotate. Oh no, we can't rotate. We have to actually do it in here. My bad. So let's go to 4, and we can move it around here, and the roll is the rotate. So we can spin it around that way. But the point is here not to make a movie. We just want to teach you how to do a few things here. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that this cube is the subject of the film. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the cube. I'm going to move it over. And we're going to make the film about the cube. So what we need to do is we need to make the camera, as it goes down this track, focus on the cube. To do that, I'm going to click on the virtual camera in the top left. And I'm going to go over to the right and have it look at, it's going to give me this menu of everything that's in the scene. I'm going to have it look at the cube itself. All right, nothing else needs to be changed here. We just need to click play and see how that looks. So let's zoom out, click play. And now you can see here that we have an intense look at the thing itself. So be aware that the virtual camera is giving you some more input than the player or the person viewing this would actually see. But here's what you actually see. So just be aware that you can do this. We're going to do it a little bit differently though. I'm going to change things up, and what I want to teach you is how to animate all this. But what I've done is I've moved the track to be in line with the cube here, and I'm going to actually remove points 4, 3, and 2. Let's go ahead and click here. I'm just going to remove. Okay, yeah, we just need, let's say 0, 1, 2. Darn programmers always starting with 0. Okay, so we have 0, 1, 2, and that's going to be our animation. We're going to just go through this sequence, and we're going to go around the object. So first things first, let's get the object in the middle. I'm going to click on it, and I'm just going to move it here in the scene view over. And when I select our track, I can see our track again going right through this cube. I'd like the cube to be right in the middle, and we can move the track over. And you always have to pan around a little bit. I'm using WASD to pan around here, so you know. And there you are. And I can see right through that cube. We're going right through that cube. So let's go ahead. We want to go around the cube, but we want to do it in such a way that we kind of start, and then we reveal the cube, and then we go back this way. So let's make that our goal. So we need to rotate the track a little bit. We need a few points to make that happen. So we have 1 point in the middle. We might be able to do it with 1. Let's go ahead and give it a try. First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and start editing these points. So that's over. I'm going to go this way. And I can see that the point of point 1 is not lined up perfectly with the cube. I'd like to line it up. Sorry, we need to go to Z here. Line it up with the cube. And so I'm imagining, now we could make this easy by using the system where you are looking at the cube the whole time or something like that. But we've got to make this a little complicated just to teach you about animation. So that's what all I'm trying to teach you is about how to animate the camera. So let's just imagine, well, normally what we would do here is what I would do is I would say dolly cart or the camera. You could set it to follow and look at the cube or do something like that, transform it based on that. What we need to do is, again, animation. So let's teach you that. So I broke my own rule and I made all those changes on play mode. So I had to redo them. Please don't make changes on play mode. It will be the bane of your existence, I understand. All right, so without further ado, the camera is here right now. Let's click play and see what we see. So we can see the camera going past the object here, and it's gonna just stand there. That's what we want it to do, kind of, but we want it to be facing the other way and reveal and then go past, something like that. Just anything to move that camera. So let's go ahead and click on play mode, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn that camera around. Remember, I'm not trying to touch the main camera. It's not gonna let you do that at all. I'm gonna use the virtual camera here, and I'm gonna rotate the virtual camera around. And if you hold the control key as you do this, it'll just give you this nice way of turning the camera around that doesn't involve or, well, it gives you these steps essentially. So we have the camera facing this way. We want it to reveal the cube and then look the other way. So how do we do that as far as animation is concerned? That's what we're gonna do next. Okay, to animate the camera, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and click on Window, and we're gonna head down to Animation and Animation. It's gonna give us this panel here. To see the panel permanently stuck into your screen, all you need to do, grab it and drop it right there. Once you have it, go ahead and click on the vcam, that's the virtual camera, and go ahead and click Create. So I'm just gonna name it Reveal Cube, and we're gonna get started with animating. The next thing we gotta do is we gotta explain a few things about the animator. So here is basically the start of the animation, and here's the end. Now it doesn't need to end here. You can actually lengthen this significantly, but let's just use this track for now, and it's quite short. Looks like it's half a second here. Let's start by adding a property. We're going to add a property that is a transform. That means we're going to change the position, the rotation, or the scale of the camera. So I'm going to click on plus, and here we see that the starting rotation, so this is second 1, and there's something called a keyframe here. This is basically an initial event. The initial starting event shows a rotation, a Y rotation of 169. It basically means the camera is pointing this way. I guess 0 would be somewhere this way. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we are going to go to this side of things, these keyframes, just moving this handle over, and then click on record. We're going to record the change we actually want. Now, be aware that if you are not on this tool, you're not going to be able to do this, right? So make sure you're on this tool. Just let me know. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're in the scene view. We're just turning this around. I can hold the control key to, again, get that easy way of doing it. Let's move this over. Okay, it looks like it's 360 degrees this way is what we need to look at. But let's go back to reimagining how we want things to be. So we want to reveal the cube, and then we want to go this way. So it looks like that's going to work. I could imagine it moving along the track that way. Now this is going to be a very short time. I'm going to end this recording. Let's just go ahead and give it a try. Okay, it starts here and it ends there. I don't think this is going to work out well, but we got to look at what we've done so far. So, okay. So it looks like what's happening here is the animation is not attached properly to the virtual camera. And we can see that that's actually the case here. So I must have somewhere along the line disconnected these two. So you can see here under animation and here reveal cube. That's what needed to be added there. Let's see if that fixes the problem. I'd rather keep those kind of issues into the video because knowing how to solve problems is really important. So again, let's take a look at what we got there. The only real problem here is it just happens much too quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and do this a lot more slowly. Now that we have the animation, let's go ahead here. We click on the virtual camera to get it back. And let's go ahead and lengthen this. I can bring this out this way. Sure, there's actually a faster way to do this. I'm just going to do it the lazy, easy way right now. So we have a couple of seconds here. Now, probably what we got to do is got to figure out exactly how long we need to cover. I'm not quite sure how to do that off the top of my head. Length, I guess this has to do with the cart, the speed of the cart versus the length of the dolly track. Combined gives you the time, but you can always just play and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It seems like it's about 5.5 seconds that it takes to go across. Now it seems to have moved it the other way than I was expecting. So the mistake I made here is that in the recording, I actually went ahead and I recorded turning it this way, where we want to reveal the cube this way. Rather than going this way, we want to go this way. So how do we reverse that without redoing the recording? Well, redoing the recording is easy, but I'd rather show you the hard way because that might give you the opportunity to learn something. So let's go ahead and just go over here. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. I'm going to change the values here of the Y rotation at the end keyframe to be the exact opposite. We need to end up going about there. It's kind of what we need to do. Let's see if that works here. So, takes a little time, reveals the cube, but we also needed to go back to its original position. I'm just going to guess here. I believe I can just move this way. No, that definitely isn't that. Actually, when playtesting it, I had it right the first time. No changes required. We basically go, we reveal the cube, and then we look the other way. So it's looking like mission success. I don't often create tutorial videos, so if you enjoyed it, leave a like, as I need to know if I should be doing a video on changing scenes, which would be essential to making a trailer. So support this video if you really liked it, and leave me your feedback if I should be doing stuff like this. I'm definitely questioning whether I should be doing this or not on the channel, so your support makes all the difference. Next up, I should let you know that I lead 168 game developers. We're hobbyists and volunteers working together to build bigger things than we could ever do alone. This is Sky Jellies behind us. It's a game we're working on together. And just imagine having on your portfolio art director or design director for a game like this. It'll make a huge difference and be a golden ticket into the industry. So if that interests you, check out our Discord. It's down below and it'll give you a notification on how to join us. But I actually have a panel that I have up for this right here. p1om.com/tour, p1om.com/tour. You can join us there and be part of everything we're doing. We need non-technical and technical people, artists and developers. We work together to build bigger things than we could do alone. We do it not for a financial incentive, we do it for fun or for research. In my case, I'm researching how people connect in virtual worlds, and you're welcome to jump in and be part of it all. So jump in, have fun with us, build something awesome you couldn't build alone, and we'd love to have you be part. I'm going to leave the next video in the middle of the screen, especially if we finish that video on connecting timeline clips, right? So you can go from one to another. That's going to be right here. If not, I'm going to put the most important video you should see right here.